there's a bank testing Algorand for payments right now, and also it looks like controversial influencer Andrew Tate may be shouting out Algorand. We don't know for sure, but this is just some of the news that we're going to cover today on Frugal BC. We got Haystack growing, we got Tiny Man setting a record for deposits, and some new payment partnerships coming. So a lot of big news today on Frugal BC. By the way, guys, if you like this stuff, please hit that like and subscribe button. And as I always say, you don't have to smash it. You can actually just press it gently. Works just fine that way too. And also, we're going to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Haystack. That's right, this mobile app that makes trading on Algorand so much easier. Check out the link in the description. You can get trading today, and you can start referring people and earning rewards as well. So check that out in the description. And we're brought to you by Marcus Aurelius. And this is the NFT and meme coin built on Algorand, spreading the word about stoicism, something I really personally appreciate. You know, stoicism has been an important part of my life, so I really appreciate the project. Both of these founders are awesome. That's why I partner with them. I'm very careful about who I partner. You know, I get these deals all the time that come through my inbox, and if I haven't heard of them, not happening. So let me tell you, give our channel sponsors a shout out, and we have channel members. You can be a channel member today, one of the Frugalnauts, for only starting at $1. You can get videos before anyone else, and you can get exclusive videos at higher tiers. So check that out in the description. And enough about that. Let's get to today's show, because it's just a really crazy mix of Algorand news today. Now, I know yesterday I irritated some people, I think, because I told you, hey, the price of Algorand is not mispriced. I don't know if people fully understood what I meant, by the way, and I want to talk about that for just a second. What I meant isn't that I'm not saying it might not be worth more money later. I'm saying that the risk of whether it will or not reflects in the current price. That's why the price is low. If people thought it had a stronger chance of doing that, they would be buying it more. It would go up. So when I say things aren't mispriced, they might be low relative to their future earnings. You know, their future price might be much higher, and that might be the case for Algorand. We just don't know. The current price reflects that risk. So anyway, that's all I was saying yesterday. If you haven't seen that video, give it a watch. I think a lot of people found that interesting. But anyway, let's start with our news. Starting with, did Tiny Man just set a new record? Record broken, says Tiny Man. Over 120 million Tiny, which is 40% of the circulating supply, by the way, is locked in governance. Our community's conviction is stronger than ever. Now, I gotta say, that's great news, except I want to show you guys something. Here's what the price of Tiny has been doing. And I used to like this because I said it was trading between 2.5 and 5 cents. And it has been in a just slow decline down. I don't know if they have a burn mechanism, but they definitely need one if they don't have one. So for a while, I was taking rewards in Tiny. I was using Tiny Man. I really missed the days of Algorand rewards. That was replaced with staking rewards, which is fine. Not nearly as lucrative for me, however, as DeFi rewards were with getting Algorand in it. So this is, this is not what you want to see in a chart. So keep that in mind when we say they may be setting a record for lockup, but not really doing a lot for the price at present. And, this reflects, we have a lot of ASAs are operating very differently to this. So just want to keep that in mind. But speaking of projects, Haystack has been crushing it lately, and we're a big fan of Haystack. As I said, full disclosure, they are a sponsor of the channel, switched over from non-fungible domains, but hey, data is data. Let's take a look at this. Shared from fisherman.algo, who is the founder of Haystack, one of the founders, I believe. Haystack daily wallets up and to the right. And this is now that staking is live on mobile. So if you have the Hay token, you can stake it. You can stake it through mobile and earn, and people like that. Soon the section will include folks financing complex labs, lending deposits, algo staking, and other ways to earn. And you can check out the link in my description if you're interested in that. But as you can see, the total wallets have been absolutely climbing. So people getting more and more into Haystack, and we've really enjoyed partnering with them. Like I said, the same company had been partnered with us through non-fungible domains for a long time. Still think that's one of the greater projects on Algorand. So both of those I'm a big fan of. Hey Token has been doing okay. It's just not as good as Alpha, to be fair. So I want to give you guys the straight up. Alpha has been performed really well. That's one of my favorites. And I've been meaning to do an Alpha Arcade experiment update, Probably be getting that to you maybe later this week. So keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, let's go to our next item. And that is, this bank is testing Algorand for payments. I'm going to call these next two segments the serious adult in the room and then crazy land. So we'll get to crazy land in a second. But first, this bank is testing Algorand deposits. Definitely a good thing. From France.algo, one of the more voracious creators on Algorand on X. If you remember, VersaBank is testing tokenized deposits on Algorand, Ethereum, and Stellar in its US pilot, likely one of the biggest institutional use cases on any blockchain. The pilot is expected to end by 2025. It'd be the end of this year. This could be absolutely massive news for Algorand. Now, I really would be surprised if Algorand did not perform better than Ethereum. I'm not really sure about Stellar. I've had Stellar, a little bit of Stellar for a very long time, but not. I know it's really focused on payments and banking. Otherwise, I don't know a ton about it, to be fair. But Algorand, low fees, very fast. Just got quantum security. They just had the first transaction that was quantum secure. Before, the history has been quantum secure for a long time. So hey. This is good news, and we'll keep an eye on this. This could be a potential really great thing for Algorand. So, and that is from VersaBank. Now, this next one might be a little controversial. I know people either love or hate Andrew Tate. I think he's really good at playing the influencer game. Whether you like him or not, he's, it seems kind of like a scummy guy, I'll be honest. But, well, he might have just shouted out Algorand, and a lot of people are like questioning whether that's the case or not. I think it's worth covering, whether you like the guy or not. He does have a lot of influence, and it would be something if he was actually driving people towards Algorand. Let's give a listen to what he has to say.
So every time I mention zero knowledge proof privacy solutions, a few people reply with tokens, but they're replying with the wrong one. There are two specific solutions which I guarantee are going to save most people, most common, good, hardworking, decent people who made money and don't want to get by the government from going to jail. And now I'm tasking you to do a little bit of research. Zero knowledge proof. This is what you're looking for. Zero knowledge proof privacy solutions, and send me your top 5 answers. And let's see if anybody can get the correct 2. Let me give you a hint. The problem with particular privacy tokens is that they change price. So let's say I have to pay somebody payroll, right? I have to pay someone every single month, and I don't want the government knowing who I'm paying and how much I'm paying them. If the token fluctuates a lot or the token changes a lot, the amount of that token I have to send them changes. So you want a solution that allows you to send stable coins. Maybe I've said too much. Do a little bit of research. Zero knowledge proof privacy solutions. Send me your top 5. And the reason I am doing this is because you're going to see in the next 3 months, 2 of these solutions are going to blow up even bigger than the last privacy coin did.
Now, he does say it's specifically a privacy coin, but a lot of people believe this might be referring to Algorand. And like Infinite Potential here says, Algorand, Sylvia Macaulay, is the OG granddaddy of ZKPs. That is 100% true. Quantum resistant, if you're into that sort of thing, absolutely. And does have stablecoin functionality. Privacy is in the roadmap. Not here yet, though, fair enough. But I think he says, yeah, inventor of zero knowledge proofs, Sylvia Macaulay, also created Algorand. Hermes Vault on Algorand allows you to privately send algo. So actually there is a solution. So he did specifically say a privacy chain, which is interesting. So it'd have to be a privacy chain with USDC. Now maybe we're stretching here. I know a lot of people in the algo, that's a lot of people saying Chainlink. He got Night Dust. I don't know, Midnight. Everyone's debating what Tate meant, but if you actually check off his clues, 2 projects fit almost too well. Zero knowledge, stable. He says Algo and ZBCN, which is ZBEC Network, and they're both on here, which is interesting. ZK State Proofs plus confidential transactions on the roadmap, and ZB says real-time stablecoin payroll plus enterprise integrations. Put them together, and it hits every point Tate hinted at. ZK privacy on one side, stable payment streaming on the other, put them together, and it hits every, well, I just said that twice. I put that twice on there, but now I don't know if he followed up and said what those were. Now I did some checking. I didn't see him say anything else that was coming. So I don't think that he's updated that, Will we know for sure? I don't know. And again, this has nothing to do with him personally. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the guy. I think you should treat women well. Just throwing that out there, but whatever. But you can't deny that someone with a huge audience shouting out Algorand would have a huge. You can't say that wouldn't have a huge impact on the chain, because let's be honest, and that was my point in the video yesterday. We are not in a world where the market values utility yet. I think we've seen that so far, and so hype and narrative is a big part of this. And if that was indeed aimed at Algorand, that could be very good for the chain. Again, not saying anything about whether you like him or not, but maybe a little more solid news is this information about new payment partnerships coming, and it's from someone inside Algorand. So let's take a look here. So Elgo Scott asked, will anything be announced at DevCon? If yes, is there a scheduled time for that? 2 payment partnerships being announcing this coming week as of right now. Very interesting. Kraken asked, will these I think he meant pay-to-play partnerships expire when the foundation finishes emptying the treasury. So we covered this whole thing about, what he's talking about here. We covered how we found out that Algorand is actually paying World Chess to provide the solution, the back end development for their, or whatever you want to call it. People get mad if you say back end, but the blockchain smart contract portion of the tower, which is their reward system on World Chess. It's cool. It works smoothly. I mean, it's pretty awesome, but they're actually paying. World Chess isn't paying Algorand. Algorand is paying World Chess, which seems a little weird, but never mind that. These 2 payment partnerships, I mean, this is pretty awesome. And DevCon is this week. He said coming week, which is now the week that we're in. And so keep an eye out for this, because this could be some pretty cool news. I definitely am interested in seeing what that is. So, well, we had a lot of weird stuff today. It was just an odd mix of different kinds of news, and that coming on the back of yesterday's video, which I'll be honest, I didn't think anybody's going to watch. Usually when I give general advice, it's probably the stuff you guys should hear and pay attention to more, but a lot of people, they just don't click on it. It is what it is. And today, just a bunch of weird news. I don't even know how to frame this video, so who knows what the thumbnail and title will look like by the time I'm done. But hey, I think it's, I appreciate everyone being here. And like I said, when I talk about Algorand's price, what I mean is that it's not underpriced. It's priced appropriately for the amount of risk about whether it will be worth more in the future or not. I think it probably will, but there's no guarantees. So it's priced low because someone brought up the point of, was Nokia underpriced appropriate priced at $1? It's like, yeah, because at the time you had no idea it was going to grow into the giant it is. So it was correctly priced at the time. Then it was priced more when it was more valuable. That's how that works. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. And as always, I'm Frugal BC. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the future.